Going to change it up today. Hi, this is ArtsyWisdom. My name is Diane. I wanted to look into Gene Hackman, his death, but also his life and their relationship, he and his wife, Betsy. I find it fascinating. I sometimes channel when people have passed on, and I get their information. I've done it on Matthew Perry and Janis Joplin. I forgot it, a bunch of people. And I find that interesting. I go into their past lives and see their journey. So I wanted to get into Gene Hackman's situation, or his life, or passing on of his life, and have respect for him. He's a really cool actor. He has a very specific energy, like the everyman kind of guy, but at the same time tough. And it's going to be kind of an oddball movie because it's a Poseidon adventure. I don't know, the one from the 70s. He played a kind of a jerk guy, but then he ended up saving everybody in the end. And I just remember that scene where he's hanging on the pipe and he's having to hold on so they can, I forget, swim or get through. And he was doing that to save everybody. It was really cool. Anyway, that's kind of old movie. One of those disaster movies. There was a ton back then. So he was found in the mudroom of his house, and it looks like he had his pacemaker was like 9 days off, or the last event. So he had been dead for a while, and she as well. And the dog was in the crate in the closet, and she was in her bathroom. Now they're in Santa Fe, and they have this big house, and it's a very private area. I listened to NPR, I think, or the radio. They had neighbors talking about it, and they were like, yep, we hadn't seen him in years. We only saw him once, 2 years ago, and waved to him on the street. Very quiet neighborhood where people like to be left alone. So that's the vibe already. I guess he had COVID, and so he kept himself away from everyone when he had COVID back, when that was going on, to save his health. They had been married since 91, and she was 30 years younger than him. But according to all information, they had a great relationship. And I think she was a classical pianist, I think. Anyway, I channeled him. And the first thing I sensed was a vagueness. I eventually figured out through this, that is, he is still here. His energy is in this plane. It's not in the earth, obviously, but he hasn't ascended yet. And I don't know if it's because he is still unaware of what happened to him, because some people don't leave right away. Sometimes there's accidents, or they're having too good of a life and they don't want to leave. Or sometimes, like in the movies, people want you to solve the crime before they leave. It's like they need to be satisfied. Matthew Perry was kind of like that too. Eventually they ascend, but I feel like is still here. And I feel like he's kind of floating on the earth plane. And maybe when they come up with their toxicology results, he will go. But when I got into his vague energy, I started to go back into his life energy, not so much in where he is now, because now that's more of his soul energy. When he was a human, or in the human form, or a 3D form, I asked him some questions. And if you guys don't like my hand movement, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a jerk about it, but this is how I am. So I asked him, what do you want to say? And he said, I have a lot to tell. A full, fantastic life. And I'm going to share with you some of the words he says, and I don't even know what they mean. Blitzkrieg, coming at me, he said. I don't know if that means, I think during his life, it came at him full. It was a full life, but he used the word blitzkrieg. And he said, I don't need anything. I was supposed to learn fire. He said I was supposed to learn fire. Maybe that's have an explosive personality, or to live inspirationally, or like a fire sign. I don't even know what his sign is, but he was supposed to do that on a soul level. He says vivaciousness, to be hot, quote unquote. So to explode and to feel this shooting star kind of vibe, like fire and flame. He said, and he said, I had an uneven temper at times. So I don't know if he grew up in a family where there was, yelling or whatever, but he said it was uneven. I got the impression that he worked on it over his life. Maybe he, experienced that, but he was coming into this world to learn fire, to be hot. So as I'm talking to him, he's showing me all these different stages of his life, and he feels very satisfied in most of his life, and he felt like he learned what he needed to do. I feel like he has this dementia, or this mind is gone, so I can't at this time or at the end of his life. So he's showing me how he felt when he was younger. And then a lot of times when you pass away, you go back to the time when you were thinner or younger, and that's how people see you. I asked him again, what do you want us to know? He said, all is well. He said, and I see him smiling, with his kind of curly hair. I think he lost his hair, and I think he used to wear a toupee or something. But he's like he puts his neck back and smiles. And he was really proud of the movie Unforgiven. He was really proud of that. I think he was the bad guy in Unforgiven, but he feels that's one of his parts that he was really proud of. I don't know, it meant it more to him for whatever reason, maybe because it was with Clint Eastwood, I don't know. But he's good. He's good. So when I asked him about what happened, he's showing me, like, the door is open, he's laying on the floor, his head's here and his legs that way. But he's showing me this motion of pulling something out the door, like a rope. I don't think it's a literal rope, but it's sensation of pulling something out. And I know they said there wasn't carbon monoxide in the house, but I don't know what the rope means. He was pulling on this air, this energy. Like maybe he wanted to go outside and he was trying to get there. I don't know. He says climbing up into the house, like he was pulling the rope to climb in. So it feels like I don't know what that means. In the online, it says they were very close, but what I heard from him was that they loved each other, but they lived kind of in separate parts of the house kind of thing. Not because they didn't like each other, just because they did. And I see her, and he falls over, not literally, but there's an image of her standing and him falling over. And I feel like, and this is complete conjecture, entertainment purposes only. I have no idea. This could be totally wrong. It's probably totally wrong. But there's something they both ingested. Maybe it is the carbon monoxide, although they didn't find anything. There's something they both ingested. I don't know. I sort of saw like a fungal powdery stuff. And they were apart, so he didn't know she fell, and they, kind of thing. And I saw her at some point blinded, like she's swinging her arms. Whatever this thing is made her kind of be blind, or she couldn't see, and she's moving her arms. Maybe it was dark when it happened, but she couldn't see, and she's knocking stuff over, she passed out. I said, what do you want us to know? He said, I'm healing, and I'm a healing place for now. And that's when I saw him floating, and he still feels like he's on Earth. I said, are you still with your wife? And he said, no, we went to different places. And then when I asked him about past lives, I saw him fall down a well in another past life, and he died in this well because somebody couldn't get him out. So the sensation of being restricted he brought into this life. So maybe the fire, the explosion is more about him pushing through life and being the, that kind of experience. So he brought that. And I still see him smiling and looking. He's not going to go until they solve this. That's the thing. He wants to stay around till they solve it. I feel like they knew each other in a past life as well. And he's okay. He's fine. He's on the other side. He loved his life. He really did. He loved his life. And I think at the end there, though, it is physically and emotionally, he was losing it. So it wasn't able to experience life like he used to, but he squeezed every minute out of it. He loved it. He felt like he'd had a good life. Although he lived privately the last 10, 15 years of his life, he lived the way he wanted to. Kind of determined. I feel like there's a sense of determination within him. I think he was in the Marines, and that's a sense of like that kind of military kind of vibe where I'm strong and I have discipline and I'm going to do what I want to do kind of thing. But it feels like very prideful in ways. So that's really good. But still soft underneath. Okay. Something pulls through the house. So I don't know if it's the rope or maybe it's something that's in the air. I mean, the sensation of the rope and climbing in, but why would he be out? Why did you go? Were you coming in or going out? Something that they both ingested, and he was coming in and he fell down and she was separate from him. They weren't in the same place. And she fell down. Take it or leave it. I know it's sad, but they'll figure it out. But it was, it's not like when there was, suicidal homicide, the kind of thing. I don't think that was it. Unless they ingested that together. But I don't feel like that's it. Yeah, they love their dogs too much to leave the one in the closet to die. Lots of, enemies. And lying. Justice, contracts. Oh, well, this is interesting. Maybe he had a problem with somebody, or they had a problem with him. Lots of enemies, lying, and justice, contracts. So maybe there was somebody that I feel like there wasn't that much excitement going on over there, but maybe there was some conflict with somebody that I see him like moving around like he did in movies. He used to like move fast and bend over in some of his movies. And okay, well, that's what I got. He's going to wait, hanging around. She is there. They're separate still. And they're okay. They're on the other side. Or not the other side. They haven't ascended, but they're still hanging around. They want to get this settled. And something about the land. They both want somebody to take over. I wonder, the children? There's something about that they want to make sure it goes to the, I don't know, maybe there's some contracts with that they're concerned, or he's concerned that it gets, like, I feel like the land is very important, and he wants to make sure somebody who either buys it or gets it as the family is going to appreciate it the way they did. Because it's super important. I feel really intensely important. That place is really important, and he wants to keep it as much as he can like it is. And he doesn't want it to, be turned into condos or anything. Yeah. All right. Well, that was interesting. You guys, I got anybody else you want me to look into? I'll do that too. All right. Take care. Have a good day.